back. You're watching Financial Planner with me, Smriti Rao. Sumit Vaid is here. He's a certified financial planner. We're going through a couple of portfolios, and Sumit is giving his ideas on what these people should do with regards to their investments. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, write into us at financialplanner@utvmoney.com. We always get emails, and it's quite a thrill really to read them all. So let's get started with Pratyush Panikar's email. This is a 26-year-old BPO employee. He's still in school. He'll complete his graduation in April 2011, which is just a couple of months away from now. And he's also enrolled for a CFP course in November, Sumit, so getting ready to join your ranks. I see. He says he works in a BPO, right? So his salary is 32,000. He also has a variable salary of 12,000. He has a home loan, 15 lakhs, that interest is at about 9.5%. Now here are his financial goals, and it's pretty interesting to see them because this is someone young. So an SUV is on the cards. He hopes to have one in 10 years. He also wants to know how to build up a corpus for emergency funds, and also wants to know whether he can get, whether he can invest in some place so he gets a regular add-on income. So it's not just what he earns at office, but also something extra. And retirement, always good to talk about retirement, and he wants to know if we have some ideas on that. So this is a really interesting email that we got. Pratyush is just 26, and I think the most gratifying fact is that he's 26 and he's thinking about all these things.
Sure, you know, this is one question, especially Pratyush's, which convinces me on long-term India story.
True.
Okay? This is a simple tipping point for us to say that anybody who's not investing in India, equity, Indian equity, any of the viewers who are sitting out and viewing us, just see this is what is happening in India. Youngsters like him, at the age of 26, he's working, he's studying, has clarity of thought in terms of doing CFP, knows what his financial goals are, buying a SUV in 10 years, fantastic, you know, and buying an SUV, I think it's a very exciting goal. I've got bored of goals thinking about planning to do my children's marriage, you know, and planning to do my retirement or planning for children's education. That's boring goals because they are not dreams, they are responsibilities. It's different. Please have responsibility, they're important, but you live once, have dreams also. So I think this guy's got dreams, we love him for that. And also long-term India story because of youth, because of this dynamics looks very good. Now let's come back to the question. I think
Emergency cash would be the first starting point.
He needs to start off with emergency cash, and he's talking about certain other sources of income also, which is?
So basically he earns 32,000. He has 12,000 variable. So, but he wants to know if there's any way that he can make some extra cash. His dad is retired, his mom's retiring soon. So I think that extra cash might go a long way in sort of helping his parents tide over what might be a smooth or a bumpy transition.
Sure. So one of the ways for him to really generate extra cash is that he's in process of completing his CFP.
That's right.
Please do it as soon as possible. Get in touch with Freedom Financial Planners. We'll train you to become a CFP certified financial planner. You can do that job along with BPO in a variable structure, and you'll make money. And that's advice to a lot of youngsters. Please do CFP. It's a great career. So that's one way. The second is to try and articulate his basis of financial plan. First and foremost, which you need to do is do a contingency and an emergency planning.
Which is number one.
Number one. Because he's got retired parents. His mother is going to retire in some part of time. He needs to just go and make sure what is that adequate amount of money which he needs to keep aside, which will take care of the family emergency. And in this case, this money can be contributed by all three earning members. Though his father is retired, but he must be sitting on some kind of a corpus. He contributes a little bit. Mother is working. She contributes a little bit. And Pratyush, you know, kind of contributes. And you come up with some kind of a corpus which will take care of any kind of a contingency, let's say in terms of loss of job, and enough cash available for 6 months of sustainable running of household expenses. I think that's the first step which needs to get taken care of. The second one is risk planning. Risk in terms of loss of income because of death, untimely death. That's where life insurance kicks in. Health insurance, that's much more important in this case because aged parents, mom is going to retire, father is retired. You need to plan for their medical exigencies before you plan for yourself. And most of the times for elder parents or elder citizens of India, it's slightly tough to get right kind of a product. There are many available. There are many health insurance products which are now going much more deeper in terms of the age, but this becomes much more important. And this kind of, you know, medical insurance is known as long-term care planning. Very essential. And see a scenario, somebody is in 80s, at that point of time he doesn't have a medical care, but that's the time when you require the maximum medical cost. So you can plan it by buying right product or saving for that rainy day. So that's two. And then third, if they have any of their own houses, please make sure you have adequate asset insurance in form of household policies.
They actually have a 3 BHK in Mumbai, so you're saying that make sure that that's covered too.
100%, and this is classic, you know, 50% of our net worth in bigger cities like Bombay, Delhi, sorry,
It's
Mumbai,
tied.
Delhi, Bangalore, etc., is most of the time your houses, and they are not insured. What if something happens tomorrow? There is a fire, there is an earthquake, God forbid us. You know, I'm just thinking, when you do risk planning, you do exigency planning. You're trying to see through scenarios which might happen and plan for it. So that's the second step which he needs to take care of it, and then go on articulating his dreams and goals, like buying an SUV. Now, buying an SUV, 10-year goal, fantastic, you know, and the right way to really go and approach. But somewhere as he progresses in career, he might be able to fulfill that goal much earlier with a combination of a loan plus investment. And if you really go and ask my heart to heart, please do not take a loan for buying a car. That's not a right loan. Why? Because, you know, as soon as you buy a car or an asset like car on a loan, you walked out of showroom, 50% of the value is conked off.
True.
It's not a productive asset. It's always depreciating. So loan for a depreciating asset is not a good loan. Loan for an appreciating asset like house or education is always good. So that's a thumb rule. But yes, if 10 years is too long, there can be a combo which can work for you to go and plan for that particular goal.
So briefly recap right now, because he's 26 and he has dependent parents, in the sense that one of them is retired, one of them is going to retire, and the way that I understand it, they all live together.
Yep.
The first thing would be to make sure that they're covered, that there's an emergency fund, and
Sure.
that the house that they have in Bombay also has insurance.
That's right.
And then he can start looking at sort of the add-on income, which is, you know, because he wants to be a certified financial planner.
Yeah.
Finish your course in time, make sure that you get a job, and that can be something that you do on the side. And then to looking at the retirement corpus, anything on that?
Now, retirement corpus is clearly a long-term kind of a goal for him. And a point is, the earlier you start, the better it is.
26 is good though.
Very, very good. I think that's ideally good, and he'll be able to really play the compounding benefit over a longer period of time. He needs to articulate by putting it a goal. You know, let's say putting across a goal like, if I have to retire today, you know, my monthly household expenses are this, and if I retire at the age of 50, these expenses might grow at the rate of 10% inflation plus something, and that means that much amount will I need on a monthly basis to sustain the life which I always wanted to live. Come to that figure. Based on that figure, you can calculate backward and start saving towards it. At 26, howsoever big that figure is,
Yeah, you
amount
can
of savings which you'll have to do will not be very, very large. It's very surprising, you know. Sometimes we see people say, okay, I want 10 crores, 5 crores, you know, and the savings which comes are in thousands on a monthly basis. So I think he should be able to do that part also. And one more attribute I think we were discussing on his retirement was providing for monthly income, you know, increase in monthly income, right? Is there
Yep.
that question?
He wants to get a regular add-on monthly income through certain investment instruments.
Okay, now
So-
our assumption here, we're not very sure, is that this increase in income on a monthly basis, this gentleman is basically looking from his parents' point of view, because both of them, one of them is retired, other will get retired in some point of time, and that's a great idea, because financial independence is some of the biggest thing which you need to plan for when you're retiring, because that's where your basic self-respect comes from, and you don't have to be dependent on your son, daughter, or anybody to really go and lead your life the way you want on a month-to-month basis. And if that's the idea, excellent thought. All of us need to plan like that, and that can basically come from the 10 lakh rupees corpus which is mentioned that his mother will be getting at the time of retirement.
Right.
If that is invested in a certain way which can give them monthly income, I think there is a way out. Options of that can be monthly income plans being run by mutual funds, systematic withdrawal plans being offered by mutual funds, where you can structure a systematic way of money coming back to you on a month-on-month basis. There can be some conservative plans being offered by postal savings on a monthly, you know, savings basis, which gives you monthly return, and few other bond issues which are emerging now in market on the debt side. So either there can be one of these instruments or a combination of a strategy which can help them generate monthly income, especially for their parents' well-being and making them feel financially independent.
Right. Also, Pratyush, if you feel overwhelmed by all this information, remember, you can always meet with a certified financial planner. That gentleman or the lady will be able to sit down with you, go through your case and go through all of your details, financial details, and offer you a customized financial plan. It's something that we've been talking about. Financial planners are available in any city that you live in. So make sure you get in touch with one of them. They'll be able to help you get more clarity on that too.
And in fact, because he's doing CFP,
Yes.
his first challenge is write a financial plan for yourself.
Yeah, that would be a great challenge for yourself too, because you want to be a certified financial planner. Let's take a break right now. We'll come right back and we'll talk a little bit more with Sumit on some other ideas. Welcome back. You're watching Financial Planner. Now, every time we have a show on, we like to talk about certain terms that we keep hearing. One of the terms we keep hearing is contingency fund, contingency planning. So what does that mean? Let's ask Sumit Vaid. He's certified financial planner. Sumit, what exactly is a contingency fund?
Contingency fund, other name for that is emergency planning. Okay, it's a very, very important, in fact, the first and fundamental step of preparing a financial plan, because most of the times each one of us have a psychological understanding or psychological relationship with money. The way we grow up has its own, bearing on the way we think about money, and many a time these phenomena stays with us throughout the life. And then what contingency does is basically goes and assures us at that level and helps us do certain things in life which we always wanted to do but were not doing because we were always afraid that we never had that kind of money. So I'll give you some example. Take me as a case study. I was in corporate life for 15 years, running for large firms, mutual funds, etc., but always had this burning desire of doing something of my own, especially in this financial advisory, advising people, helping them live their life, make them happy kind of things, which I always wanted to do. So when I started Freedom Financial Planner, the first thing which I did was to write a plan of myself. My contingency is my business can take at least 2-3 years to start giving me some decent returns. So I need to have a contingency fund created which is lying in a bank account which will not put pressure on me if I'm not able to generate enough money on a monthly basis to run my household the way I want to run.
True. So it's a safety net basically.
It is safety but more psychological relationship with it. Not just as soon as I was able to do this, that gave me a confidence of walking a path which I always wanted to in terms of living my dream. Because then my mind said, okay, fine, you've planned for a exigency. Because you've planned for a contingency, you can do what you always wanted to do. And once you progress that path, many times you don't require that contingency.
True.
You are just afraid to take that first step. That's the name contingency, There are certain client families of ours who have a very interesting contingency, There's this lady who is working in a large multinational company. Every month she gets a huge amount of salary coming into a bank account and money doesn't move out of bank account. Many a time there are 20 lakh rupees, 25 lakh rupees lying in a bank account.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? At one level, yeah, because at one level it's reassuring, sure, to have all that money. But on the other level, like we keep talking, it's that just to have money lying there, it's not growing.
True.
Yeah, so it's important to have a contingency fund which reassures you psychologically that you have enough cash to tide over whatever life may throw at you. But also remember that having large reserves of cash for that is not a right
Right, and her contingency is the reverse contingency, that she's not able to decide to move the money out of savings bank into required investment which generate decent return more than inflation. It's a reverse contingency. Why? Because when she was growing up, her parents used to tell her, you cannot manage your money yourself, you cannot manage yourself. So it's ingrained in her. Yeah, she's not able to sign the check. So it's a reverse contingency. To me, contingency fund is must for each and every family. It is that aspect of your psychological understanding or relationship with money which, after taken care of, gives you peace, freedom to do things which you always wanted to do. Very important.
All right, so that's Sumit's explanation of what a contingency fund is. Remember, it differs from person to person. Some people are comfortable having about 6 months of salary and lifestyle money stashed away. Some people are more comfortable with just about 3 months of money stashed away. Whatever you're comfortable with should be your contingency fund. But remember, don't have very large amounts of money just sitting there. Your money should be growing. It should be working for you. You should not be working for your money. With that profound thought, let's take a break. Remember, Financial Planner airs on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll be back again. We'll talk a little bit more about your money and your investments. Sumit Vaid is a regular guest on the show. He'll be back to talk with us again. Sumit, many thanks.
Thank you.
From the team here, bye-bye.